I just had a delegate on one of my courses quote John F. Kennedy, and I never heard this quote before. He said, JFK once said, life is unfair, but sometimes it's unfair in your favor. Isn't that amazing? Life is unfair, but sometimes it's unfair in your favor. And if I reflect on my life and all the times I thought it was being unfair, in retrospect, looking back, I could see it was actually being unfair in my favor. I didn't crack it as a professional singer, but that led me into professional speaking because I was forced to innovate and use the 6 thinking hats to think differently and come up with a crowdfunding project, which ended up being an unfairness that was in my favor. I found myself in lockdown with my husband losing his business completely for 7 months, having to work out how to do things virtually. It felt incredibly unfair at the time, but that allowed me to enter the World Championship of Public Speaking and have that unfairness actually be in my favor. And so I think this is just a beautiful way for us to pick up our pens and write a different story about what feels unfair. And sometimes it truly is unfair, but sometimes if you can remind yourself in the moment, I know this feels unfair now, but maybe when I look back on it, I will see that it was actually being unfair in my favor. So that's my homework today, is to look at all the other times I felt life was unfair and it was unfair in my favor. In fact, turning 40 and being single felt unfair, but it meant life was setting me up for me to meet the right person for me, to meet my husband. So it was unfair in my favor. But for 10 years, I did not think that. So how is life being unfair in your favor? I think if you can start finding how it's favoring you, you'll stop letting it hold you back. I'm Verity Price. It's my pleasure to share my little nuggets of information and inspiration as it comes to me. If this resonates, join my journey, follow me. I will keep sharing them, and let's keep writing different stories.